Well, looks like they're finally coming after us, all of us solar guys. This is mostly about the NEM3, the new proposal that is coming into California to essentially shut down the solar. I mean, that's not their main pain there, but it's going to be the result. I put in solar, started out in 2019. I've got 18 kW of power, and I kind of stair-stepped up. I was doing this all DIY, so it took me a while to get it done, and I just finished the last of it this last summer. What I see coming, well, maybe I should start out with I don't pay for power anymore. I pay the $9 monthly charge, and the way most of these solar deals work is if you produce more power than in a month, well, any time period, than you use, it goes into a bank, and it is literally called a bank. And so that on times when you don't have enough power, the grid supplies the power and applies it to what you gave to them. Because if I'm producing, say, 70 kilowatts of power and I only use 40, well, I got 30 kilowatts that goes into the grid that actually operates somebody else's house. I operate my neighbor's house. In fact, this last summer I was operating between 1.5 and 2 of my neighbor's houses throughout the day. So they give it back to you when you don't, when the sun's not shining, like at night, they give it back to you. And for very cloudy days where there's nothing, they give it back to you. And that's called a grid-tied system. And it works well for us people that put in solar. It doesn't work out so well for the power companies. And we've been small for quite a while. There's not been a lot of residential solar. And so the power companies kind of ignored us for quite a while, but now we're starting to produce a lot more. There's a lot more people coming in. Because, if you go out there right now and you want to put a solar system in, there's people that will install that for you for nothing. And I'm not talking about a lease either, I'm talking about a purchase. No money down, as long as you can pass a credit check on it. They'll put you on like a 25-year contract, and you will reduce the amount of electricity you use by about the same as what your payment is, more or less. I have a relative that's done this already, and for the most part it does. Sometimes, toward in the winter, your bank gets down low enough so that you can't, you actually have to pay some. But it's a pretty good deal. Well, the utilities don't much like it. I'm paying $9 a month year round for electricity because mine is enough. I had a bank of about 6,000 in October, 6,000 kilowatts. And I now am starting to build that bank up again in February, where I had I had 3 months where I was working off the bank for quite a bit. But I've still got about 3,000 kilowatts in the bank. Now that's going to zero out here in the spring sometime because they won't let you carry it over. I don't have a problem with that, but I have to accept the fact that we're not paying for all the costs that utility companies are that they have to pay. $9 a month does not pay for that. What the utilities are trying to do is, instead of paying me back retail, I pay 9 cents a kilowatt hour, and so if I use power in the winter when I'm not producing any and I have a bank that still has some in it, they give me 1 for 1. Well, I knew there's going to be problems with utilities with this after a while, but it's coming due now. And in California, they're paying, and rates vary, everywhere. Depending on where you're at, you could have a off-peak rate of about 18 cents or a highest rate level of almost 50 cents that you'd be paying for electricity. Well, with the old system, you'd be getting paid back that 50 cents. Now, these things are all changing. They're not all quite that way, but okay, if I was getting 50 cents a kilowatt for on-peak usage, then they're getting hit pretty hard there when that kilowatt is worth 50 cents to them. So what they have proposed to do is reduce the amount that they compensate us when we produce more than what we use. They want to knock that down to 4 or 5 cents a kilowatt. Now, 4 or 5 cents is generally what it costs them to buy power. Now, various sources are wide variations, but there's kind of an average around that 4 or 5 cents. So they essentially want us to pay the same price they pay for electricity. Now, I have a problem with that, but that's not the biggest problem and not the real point of this video. The real point of this video is they also want to charge us $8 a month for the privilege of hooking up solar to their grid. That $8 is per kilowatt of installed solar. I have 18 kilowatts of installed solar. That means it would cost me $144 a month just to be hooked up to the grid. I can find a lot of things to do with $144 a month that do not involve paying for the privilege of putting solar in my house and hooking it up to the grid. I think that's ludicrous. I don't know if they're going to get it through. I kind of don't think so, and there may be some federal regulations that it violates, but that's for the courts to decide. My bill never was over $144, even in the some of my highest months. It's never been higher than that. And so it would just be absolutely pointless to have a solar system at all. So this is my primary gripe with this. The payback on the rates, there's here and there's about that. But this thing with us actually paying, because I've got solar, having to pay them for the privilege of having solar here, doesn't make any sense. I just don't think this is the right way to do this. I think this is absolutely Looney Tune. I'd like to hear any comments you guys have. Maybe I'm full of crap on this, but that $8 a month thing really bothers me. Anyway, that's it on this one.